Have you ever wondered how you could start and scale your own small business out of your own home? This morning we're spending some time with Wayne and Kayla, owners of KayWayShop. They're going to show us how they did it. Morning, sir.
Morning. Welcome in.
Welcome to our crib. This is the grand tour. We did just get some consignment in, so that kind of just got piled up right here. This is basically the living room area, and then we have the spot where we sit. We have the dog, of course. She sits there all day and protects the front door. That's the office space. Chris was mentioning how small it is, and it is a small office space. We work out of this smaller space and do the numbers we do. So, like I said, anybody can do it.
I first met Wayne back in 2021, and since then I've had the privilege to really get to know his family and watch their business grow. Now, you've probably heard of businesses that are similar to Wayne and Kayla's. They resell clothing online on websites like eBay and Poshmark, but they have a couple wrinkles to their business that you're probably unfamiliar with. One of those wrinkles Wayne actually just hinted at. He said anybody can do this. They've built up a social media empire of sorts where they literally teach people how to do the same exact business that they do right now. I really think you're going to enjoy this video. I ask Wayne some tough questions. He gets really transparent, so does Kayla, and we actually go to the thrift store together. Buckle up and enjoy.
We have our older kitchen right here, super old. No updating here, just basic kitchen. And then we have our garage area. This is where we store all of our inventory. One car garage, get it all done out of here. That's our crib.
I'm guessing organization is key with having this many items.
Oh yeah, organization, and then having a spot for everything too. Behind you is the light box. That's where Mom takes all the photos for the items. She just flips this on.
How much revenue are you doing each year?
Last year we did under 300K. Right now we're over 300K in sales, and we haven't even finished the year yet.
How many square feet is the home?
1,100.
How many of you live here?
Five of us.
And a dog.
And how much inventory?
I think we have 2,800 listings, somewhere around 2,800 listings.
So tell me just a little bit about the business. What is the business?
So basically we go into thrift stores and retail stores, and we buy cheap clothing items usually, and we resell them on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari.
Gotcha. Did either of you have experience doing retail or clothing business in the past?
No.
No real brand knowledge. None of us had that. I just learned as I went.
So how did you get started? Like, what was the first day?
I was a mailman, and I watched a video online from Rally Roots. They basically went in thrift stores, bought items, and resold them. I thought, just like everybody else thinks, like this is not possible. Like nobody's going to buy these things online. And then I just started listing items in my house, like I suggest everybody do. They go to their closets, go to their junk drawers, find something, look it up on eBay, see if it's sold before, and list it, because you have no real cost of goods in that. You basically have discarded it anyway. And see if it sells, and that's how it all started. Didn't have any like clothing experience. I don't think you really know.
I hated the business.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. The whole idea of it, I was very much against the whole thing.
So tell us, what's that transition from being I hate this to I think you seem to love it right now?
Over time, I don't know, just over time. He downloaded the eBay app and like Poshmark on my phone. So over time I would just see the sales coming in, and then it slowly started to click. I also hated the shopping part of it. We'd go on dates, and then date night would be going to Goodwill, and I'd be spinning in the chair because I'm like, can we go now? Like, I'm done. And I hated that part too, but eventually I started learning the brands. And then when I stayed home, when I finally quit my job, I learned the men's stuff because he would bring it, and I would just draft it. And then I was able to go to the store and be like, oh, I recognize this. Then it became more fun.
What would an average day of sales look like?
We usually sell like right around 15 per day is usually what we have, and that's not including whatnot sales. That's just eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop. We put outside like 133 packages is what my mailman counted yesterday for weekend sales. So it was a good weekend, good whatnot weekend.
What's the goal with these live streams?
Just teach people like what we do and how we do it, and then people can come ask questions. It's easier to ask questions when you're in the live setting instead of typing out your questions. So I get a lot of people that come in, ask questions, I'm able to answer them. What's up, Samara? Welcome in. If you guys had any cool sales yesterday, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll make sure I shout you guys out as we are shipping some orders. I paid $9.36 for this Lululemon, and it sold for $32. So a nice little sale right there.
What are the pros and cons of running a business out of the home just like this?
The clutter is a con, I think. You can see we have shoes here. We had a bunch of stuff over here, but we moved it because our Christmas tree actually goes right there. You've seen the garage. The pro is we don't have to go anywhere to get the inventory or anything. It's right here in the garage. If somebody needs something, we just go get it. So that's a pro. And just having everything here, I like that. I like that much better than having to like go to an office. It doesn't feel like work when you're at home, which is nice. So if I have to do laundry or do dinner or start the crock pot, I don't have to leave. I just walk over to the kitchen and make dinner.
What's it like living a social media life?
It's, well, he's more social media. I'm in and out. That's his thing. It's interesting, I guess. I don't know. I'm just a normal hot mess, so this is it for me.
What advice do you have for somebody who's running a business out of the house to try to find some balance between work and life and family?
We're not like uptight. We just chill. Go with the flow. Minus the dog hair in my egg, but it's kind of different sitting back here.
All right, we're headed to the thrift store. This is where the interview gets real. Now, most of you probably already know I'm a reseller too. I wanted to take a moment to tell you about one of my favorite reselling tools, Nifty AI. Actually, Wayne and Kayla use Nifty for their business too. Nifty takes the best in the market cross-lister, combines it with the best in the market automation tools, puts it together into one subscription. It's awesome. I've been using cross-listing and automation for my reselling business for over 4 years now. I've used a lot of the different tools, but just over a year ago, I switched to Nifty, and I'll tell you, there's no going back. I love this platform. Now, you can try it too yourself. There's a link down below in the description of this video. That link will also get you 15% off your first month if you decide that you like it. But don't take my word for it. You're a business owner, make your own decision. Try it for free, see if you like it. Every single day, Nifty makes me extra money through extra sales. It also saves me time from some of those mundane tasks we all hate doing. All right, enough about that. Try it out. Let's go to the thrift store. So I understand that you were a mailman before you started reselling. Can you talk to us a little bit about the beginnings of your business?
Yeah, so I was a mailman. I remember picking up people's packages, and like people had home businesses, and I was always curious on how they were able to do it. I was looking for a way to make a secondary income. Started listing items in my own closet, and then items started selling. So then I was hooked. I just started listing items around the house, and then every day after work or every other day after work, whenever I had time, I would stop on the way home at a thrift store, and it would be 5 o'clock. And I know a lot of people say there's nothing left at 5 o'clock, but I built my business off of stopping at thrift stores at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on the way home and buying items, taking those items home, and I'd immediately just list those online.
And what does your profit margin look like?
So our average profit per month is, again, it just depends on the month, but usually it's somewhere around 8 to 10,000 is what we're making. That doesn't include like social media income or anything like that. That's just from selling. We're really big on teaching people how to do this and also doing it ourselves too. There's a lot of people that put out content and they try to sell courses and things like that. And we're really against it. We really want to show people like you can do this. You don't need a huge warehouse space. You don't need a ton of employees. You just have to grind it out and learn as you go. It's not like it's going to happen overnight. I know those numbers sound really great, but there's a lot of hard work behind those numbers.
So social media is a big part of your game. What kind of income are you generating from social media?
From just videos alone, it's not as much as most people think. Just from video views alone, we're probably bringing in between 1,000 to 2,000 a month. Again, it just depends on how many videos I get out that month, how many posts I do that month.
Do you do any sponsorships or affiliate marketing?
Yeah, so we have a few affiliates that we push. You guys probably know as we're making our posts and saying like sign up for whatnot. That's an affiliate link. Autoposher is another affiliate link. We have Amazon affiliate as well. So if somebody goes and asks like, where do you get your clear poly bags from? I have those linked. It doesn't cost the person any extra to go buy them. They just go and buy them, and then Amazon gives us like a little tiny commission for like, hey, thanks for sending that person over.
What kind of income does sponsorships and affiliates bring you?
It's much better than video views. I think right now we're pulling in anywhere between $4,000 to $5,000 a month from affiliate marketing, which is really good. I think if people are looking towards social media, that's probably where they should be focused on, is like building up their audience and then focusing on affiliate marketing, because those sponsorships and those companies that reach out and say, hey, can you push our product for us? We'll give you a small commission. That's where you're going to make the most of your money.
What's your best advice for somebody who wants to get started doing social media?
I think it's just be yourself. I think people watching this will probably understand when I say this, is there's a lot of people that are just like scripted. It's a lot of like, you know, writing it all out, and they sound like a robot when they're talking. I think a lot of people like our content, especially the lives, because we're just being ourselves. Like Kayla will pop in the background and make fun of me in the background, and people will laugh along with it, and we're just ourselves like all the time. If people like meet us out in the wild when we're out thrifting, a lot of compliments we get are like, hey, you're just like you are in your videos. And
How does somebody start a social media channel and build a following?
you just start. You just start posting content. You can like Power Rangers, right? And you can make a whole channel about how you love Power Rangers, and somebody will like that because there's other people in this world that love Power Rangers, right? So there's other people that like that. Just make your content. Just make and do the content that you like watching. If you like watching other people play with action figures and that's your thing and they get a ton of views, just do it your way. For us, it was thrifting. We loved going thrifting. We love reselling. So it was just like teaching people how to resell, just giving out that info for free. And I'll say, if you want to grow a channel big, you want to give out the information for free. There's a lot of people that like gatekeep the information, hide it behind a paywall, but you're way more trustworthy if you just give the information out. And trust me, it comes back tenfold. I've learned so much over the years that I didn't know from people sharing information with me because I shared information with them. I started posting videos on TikTok, and then one night I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go live out in the garage while I'm listing items, and people can come in and ask me questions. I don't know how many people are gonna be here, but I'll give it a shot. And it took me a while to press that live button. Once I did, I just went live. I had like 4 or 5 people in there. They were asking questions, asking what I was doing. And I started doing that every single night for like, I think it was like close to a year. I was on live like every single night. I would miss like, I think in a year I missed like 3 or 4 days of going live on TikTok. I just built my following that way. Like nobody else was growing a strong following. And I call them sticky followers, people that like will come back every single video, every single live, and hang out with you, and almost become like a hangout. Like people were listing while I was listing, and it was fun. We were like growing a community. Reselling can be kind of lonely because you don't have like coworkers or anything like that. So this was a way for all us to connect and talk every single night. One of my good friends, Thrifter Sifter, hit me up and was like, hey, you should start posting on Facebook, like your same videos you should be posting on Facebook. So I did that, and then Facebook started blowing up, and then right after Facebook started blowing up, Instagram started doing well. So I was able to, now I'm able to cross post one singular video to 4 different platforms. You know, one platform will do good, one platform will do bad, but I bring in a ton of followers that way. But it all started from live selling, or not live selling, but going live.
If someone was going to start a social media channel right now, late 2024, and they were going to start with one platform, what would you suggest?
Right now, I would suggest Facebook out of all of them. And I know that sounds weird because most people that are probably watching this probably don't have a Facebook channel because they think Facebook is dead, but Facebook is like the hottest. You know, you could post just a simple video to Facebook, a simple reel, and you think it won't do good. And all of a sudden, boom, it's 1 million views. And that brings in a ton of followers.
Why use clothing? How did it start there?
In every thrift store around this area, it is so full of clothing that it just makes sense to just do clothing. Also, we have a limited space. As you guys saw, we have that 1-car garage. So we don't really have a lot of room to store a bunch of hard goods. So we can store a lot more clothing in a smaller confined space than we can, you know, bigger electronics and things like that. So we just, you know, gravitated towards clothing. And when I first started, I knew nothing about clothes. I knew nothing about brands. I learned all, you know, from reselling. Like, I didn't know what Lululemon was. I knew what Nike and Adidas were, but I didn't know what, you know, Turnbull and Asser is, and brands like that. Like, those were all learned from reselling. So it's perfect for somebody that has a small space. Like, if you live in an apartment, you could stack 5 bins on top of each other in the corner of your room and have 500 items listed just like that.
So in the early days of your business, you're full-time as a postman, you're part-time reselling. What kind of volume were you doing back then, and and like what kind of money were you making?
When we first started, my first year, started in September 2018, and I think I did 7 grand in sales from September to the end of the year. And that's how I knew it could work, because I was like, that's a short period of time, and doing that much revenue, I was basically taking everything and rolling it back into the business too. So I didn't really bring that income in. I just used it back on the business because I didn't need it because I had a full-time job. But then the next year after that, I think, if I can remember correctly, we did like 80 to 90K in sales the second year. Most of that was rolled back into the business. We took very, very little out in the beginning. The point that we were taking money out was when she wanted to quit her job, and we had to make sure the business was going to pay our bills. So kind of for that like month, we kind of just took the revenue from the business, and anything that she made during that period of time when she was still working, we basically just put in the bank. And then we figured out like this could actually pay our bills. And then shortly after, that's when I quit my job. That person ran the red light.
That was pretty good. So at what point did you become realistic, or did you even start thinking that you could do this full time and quit your job?
When she quit her job, that was when I knew it would work. I kind of felt like it would work, but when she quit and we were able to still pay our bills and we were making more income in the business, because now she was working a full time into the business, which we've never had somebody do that before, and we were bringing in even more revenue. I was like, yeah, this will work. And then that's when I started thinking, like, what if I quit my job? Like, now we have 2 people working on the business. Now we're able to source first thing in the morning instead of me stopping on the way home. That's when the business blew up.
What advice do you have to somebody who's doing this part-time who wants to transition to full-time?
Pay off as much debt as you possibly can before you quit. But I did pay off all of our cards, all of our cars, and her student loans. So we basically just had the mortgage payment every month, and then we saved a big chunk of money too. So that way when I left my job or when she left her job, we know that we had a couple months worth of full bills in our bank account. So if anything happened to either of us, we'd be able to pay our bills.
So you seem like a no-frills type of family. Talk to me about the Tesla. What's the story there?
The Tesla.
This is the bougiest thing we own.
Yes, this is. Her car was old. It was a 2015?
Hyundai Santa Fe, and I loved that car.
Yeah, it was okay, but it was starting to have issues. So we're like, you know what?
Like 10 years.
Yeah, and it was paid off. This one is not paid off right now, but we're working on it. But we were like, you know what? It's time to upgrade. And my dad has a Tesla, and he's always wanted me to get a Tesla. He's always like tried to talk me into it. We got that tax credit on it. And then my dad gave me his referral link. So we basically get, I think it's like 1,500 free miles on this, basically, charge miles, which makes a lot of sense for sourcing too, because we don't have to pay for gas. So we haven't paid for gas technically this whole year with the Tesla. So it just made sense. Just was a smart purchase.
So here we are walking into the thrift store where the magic happens.
Ladies first, 50% off white, 30% off blue. So we'll probably hit dress shirts first.
Damn, look at those.
We got so much good interview stuff coming your way. Wayne and Kayla are going to get into it and tell us exactly what it's like being husband and wife, working together every single day. They're also going to tell us about the future of their business, which is really, really exciting. But I wanted to take a moment to say thanks for watching this video and welcome you back for some more. Hit that subscribe button if you like content like this. We share reselling content every single day. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that little notification bell so that you know when we post new content. I'd love to have you back for more. Let's get back to the interview.
$20. These are pretty beat. Pretty beat. And shoes, you're looking for good condition shoes, because you don't want to put I don't like putting a lot of cleaning work into shoes. Like something like this is like super clean. So if this was a good brand, this would be a good pickup. So brands like Hoka's, On Clouds, certain Nikes will do good. So I found one item already. This was like right after I started. This thrift store is like really good for jeans and pants. I usually hit jeans and pants first, and then I go to long sleeves. These are 7 for All Mankind straight jeans, and they're only $6. I don't know if white tags are discounted. I think might be. I forget what it was, but we'll check that before we leave. Either way, $6 is a great price for these. These are like bread and butter for us. I'll sell these between $25 and $30 plus shipping. So after fees, shipping, cost of goods, I should make at least a $15 profit on these. So it's worth paying $6 to make 15. I'll show you the differences between these items and items that the thrift store thinks that are worth a ton of money that really aren't. So when I was going through this section, I noticed all of these. These are Polo Ralph Lauren Hampton straight jeans, which are good resale, but the thrift store wants $40 for these. If I were to sell these, they'll probably sell for around 35 to 40. So there's no meat on the bone for me. But what we'll do is wait for these to go half off or maybe 75% off, and we'll pick these up.
All right, we got some fall raven. This is really, I don't find this one too often. I can never remember the color. Oh, blue. So, nice long sleeve shirt. Logo right there. Should sell for like 25, 30, but my favorite, let me show you my favorite. So, well, this isn't my favorite, but North Face, we've been running these on Whatnot, $10. But these have been going for like 25 or 30. My favorites. Some Miss Me's. Okay. These are Spain. One of my favorites to find, but I don't pick up all Spanx anymore. I only pick up these pants, but it's because of the size, and these are the boot cut. They got to get tossed in the wash. No big deal. But we've sold a pair of these for like 80 before, and a smaller size. So, and these are blue. So these are $5. So I'm excited. And I just got some jeans. She found a toy.
All right, we're back in the house, back in the office, and we got a whole bunch of goodies here.
Let's go. So we'll go over a couple of the items that we picked up. I think we picked up, what did we say, 32 items, I think is what you said. And we spent a little over $200 on all these items, so not too bad. If I were to guesstimate, I would say we'll at least triple that money that we spent on these items. We got a couple personal items in there too for our daughter, but all in all, that's about how much we spent. We should make at least $400 to $600 on all this stuff, especially when you see the brands and the prices that we paid for this stuff. So first time I have this, is not the best season to sell this, but this is a men's Tommy Bahama shirt. We only paid $6 for it, but the great thing about this is it's silk and it's a size 3XL, so it's a bigger size. If you know anything about selling online, the bigger sizes always sell better. I expect this to sell somewhere between $30 to $35 plus shipping online, just because it's a bigger size and it has a really good print to it. And I think the thrift store thought this was flawed. So this shirt was only $4. This is a men's Polo Ralph Lauren shirt, but it's distressed and it has this paint splatter all over it, but that's intentional. That was actually from Polo Ralph Lauren itself. And for $4 with this pattern, this is at least a $25 shirt. I think it's a good size too. It's a size large too, so it'll move pretty quick. So turning $4 into $25 after fees, shipping, cost of goods, we should make about a $15 to $17 profit on this.
I found some Ariat.
Ariat.
Anyway, it's $11 and it's a size 2XL, and I picked this up specifically to run on Whatnot. Look how pretty. It's shiny.
Yeah, it's
like
got some
Aztec print,
some metallic to it.
Going on.
Look at that.
It's like super soft. So yeah, this is definitely going on Whatnot. What do you think it would sell for?
I mean, this is a minimum of a $25 piece on Whatnot.
Good brand.
So all in all, including drive time, how much time did it take you to get these 32 items?
I think we were in the store for about an hour. All in all, we spent maybe 2.5 hours, and then we stopped for lunch too, thrifting, which isn't too bad for all of this. And like I said, we'll make somewhere between $400 to $600 is what I expect to make off these purchases, so not too bad.
If you were to list all those items on eBay, 32 items, about how long would that take?
So Mom would probably be able to draft these and list them about 8 hours, I would say.
So 11 total hours worth of work, and that's going to bring you somewhere of $400 to $500 in profit.
Yep.
How did this consignment part of the business, how did that come to be, and tell us about that?
A lot of people on Whatnot like to just sell the junk that they can't sell on eBay. And we thought, what if we bring the same quality inventory that we're listing on eBay and bringing that over to Whatnot, like the rare vintage pieces, the crazy polo all over print pieces. Those are what we're looking to get. And we just thought, might as well try it out. And it grew into something pretty big, pretty quick, because people saw the prices we were getting and they're like, hey, I can go source an item for $5, ship it to KayWay. He sells that item for $25, and I make, double the triple my investment, and then I keep a small portion of that sale. That's how consignment works. And we decided to go with 70-30 splits for that reason of we don't want to make a ton of money off of consignment. We want to build our shows into something that's really desirable, and to do that, the 70-30 splits work really, really well.
What's next? 2025, looking ahead, where does this business go?
A bigger house.
Yeah, I think next year we have to.
If we get the house, then that opens the space, which opens to his ideas.
Yeah, because
are good for a big house.
Yeah, I got ideas. Like a lot of people on Whatnot run a lot of pallet inventory. It's not so much thrifted goods; it's mostly pallet goods. I think that business model is great, and I want to try it out. But to do that, I have to have space. I have to have somewhere to bring that inventory in and process it and then sell it.
Tell me about working with your spouse every day.
You go first.
What? No, you go first.
I think it's great. Me and her hardly ever have arguments, like ever. So, there's some days where, you work really hard and get a lot done, and there's other days we kind of just like slack off and don't do a lot of work. It's
the only complaint we have two very different ideas of organization.
Yeah.
So sometimes that clashes, but it's not like an argument. It's just like, well, I would put this stuff this way, and he has his way of organizing it.
Yeah.
So, but it works out. It's fine.
What's something annoying that Wayne does?
Let me go. No, I'm just kidding. You go first.
I don't know. You sneeze 80 times in the morning.
Yeah.
Loudly.
I have allergies.
This is really bad sneezes. We know he's awake. Everybody. Go ahead.
Something that Kayla does that annoys me. Sometimes when we're out thrifting, like I'll be thrifting and I'll be like in a groove, and she'll be like done and ready to go, and I'll be like, we still got to stay, like we got to get this stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff in the store.
Do you have a set of like ground rules or like little sets of understandings, code words, so that you can work with each other?
We have like our own tasks that we do. Like in the morning when, before I wake up, she'll have all the spreadsheets done. She'll have pulled all the inventory. And then I wake up and I do the live. And then while I'm doing that, sometimes she's putting away inventory if we have enough listed. So we have like our own like set of things that we do. I guess that kind of answers that question. Like she has her set tasks. I have my set tasks to do during the day.
Now it's not just Kayla and Wayne. Now it's a trio.
When did we hire Mom on?
Last
September. We brought her on, and we were basically behind on the stuff we had to do. We had so much to list, and we didn't have enough time to do it with social media we're doing, the Whatnot shows, all that stuff. So I was like, if I want to keep eBay, Poshmark, Mercari going, I have to bring her on to get that work done. We asked her, and she was working a job that she didn't really like doing. So she was like, I'm all for it as long as, I get paid a certain amount, and we agreed to a certain amount, and brought her on, and it's been great. Like every morning she comes in, she lists her set items. She has items already set up, ready to go to be photoed. And once she gets done with that, she bags them up. They're ready to be put in inventory. And then she goes and does another 20, 30 drafts, however many she can get done. And now I'm teaching her some other things like cross-listing and things like that to take that off my plate too. So yeah, I think it was much needed. Do I think we need to hire anybody else at this point? No, I think that's enough for us for right now until our business starts to grow more, and then we'll hire more people. But for right now, I think Mom's perfect.
And it helps with the kids. If we're like out shopping and we're out late and they got to get picked up from school, she always goes and grabs them for us. Or...
Safe to say that the conversations at your holiday dinners are a little different than most families?
I don't know. We don't really talk about business too much at the holiday dinners. We just talk like we normally do. I'll say this. When I worked at Target, I was a manager, and my dad worked under me as a manager. He actually worked in my same department. He worked there for 8 months before anybody realized that he was actually my dad, because that's how we worked. Like we just get work done. We don't bring the family drama to the work, and we also don't bring it outside of work either. So yeah, I don't think our conversations are any different. To be honest, when we go over to her house, I don't even think we talk about anything eBay related. It's just like the kids are there, and we're just like, she never even worked there before.
She just got a pool, so we go swim in and barbecue and relax.
Yep. Keep the work at work, keep the business at the business. That's kind of how we do it.
That was the same thing. Keep the work at work, keep the business at the business.
What?
Isn't that like the same thing?
Keep the work at work. Oh yeah. I messed that up. Keep the work at work. Keep the home life at home. There.
Family.
Family. Business. Thanks. Really appreciate that.
Do you love the business?
Yeah, I think we do. I love doing what we do. We get to shop for a living. Like, who wouldn't love to do that? You get to go to thrift stores and retail stores and look for treasure. That's like what we do. I love the social media aspect of it. Yeah. What'd you say?
I do. I like it. I like being with the kids too. I didn't get to do that. I mean, I did. So I was a preschool teacher, and the kids came to work with me. But it's different because I'm working. I'm not with them all the time. But now it's like volunteer. I can do whatever I have to do and hang out with them. If they need something, if they're home sick, they're home for the summer. It's not like we're taking off work because we got to watch them and go on field trips. It's just, we just take care of them, do it, and movie nights and stuff, because it's not like we have to get up at 7 in the morning to go to work.
Can anyone do what you do?
I think so. I didn't go to school to resell. I didn't go to a reseller school. Everything I learned was from free content online. I've never paid for a course. Social media, I've never paid for like a course on social media or anything like that. I've just watched other people's content, saw how they did it, and then made my own content from it. If you're in the middle of nowhere, there's only one thrift store in your area, you're not going to be able to resell from that singular thrift store, but you might have to travel 2 hours away once or twice a week to hit the good thrift stores in your area. So yeah, I think anybody can do it though.
What advice do you have for the person who's watching this right now who's saying, I can do this and I want to do this?
Do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
You can. You want to, so just do it.
Just give it a try. The worst thing that can happen is, you
don't like it.
You don't like it and it doesn't work out, and then you go look for something else to do, but you'll never know until you try. Most of the people are, it's in their head that they can't make this work. They have all these excuses. I can't do this because of this, and this. And there's no, like, I can do this because of this. Like, they don't think of that reason.
How much was your initial investment?
My initial investment in this was $0. We started selling items in our house first. It was the shirt that Chelsea's husband gave me. It was like a fishing shirt. And I had it in the closet. I think it was listed for like $15 free shipping, but it was just sitting in the closet, and I don't fish, so I was just like, they gave it to me, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to list this and see if it sells, and it sold in like a week. So my initial investment was $0. And then after I sold a couple things, I think we took like $100 to Goodwill and bought a few things from Goodwill, listed those online, and a couple of those things sold. And then I just started taking everything that I was making and putting it right back into the business. So then I sold 10 things, took that money, went and bought some new stuff. And I was making daily sales after about 3 to 4 months. I was basically making a sale every single day. So that's when it started really rolling.
What's the biggest business problem that you faced?
Well, right now we have a space problem.
Yeah.
We've got a space issue.
I think that's probably the biggest issue that we've ever had is space.
It's always been space. Because when we bought the house, it wasn't, we're going to put a business in here. It's our first house. It's a starter home. We have 2 kids. It worked perfect.
Yeah.
And then you started up the business, and it just, over time. This actually used to be a playroom. It wasn't. It's not the office. It was a playroom, and then it was a dining room, and now it's the office.
What are some solutions that have helped you combat that problem?
I think live selling definitely helps, because we're able to clear out. If we wanted to today, we could fire up a Whatnot show tonight and just advertise and be like, hey, we're going to do a clear out show. We're going to sell 500 units because we need the space back, and then just sell 500 units worth of stuff. The velocity of sales on Whatnot is eBay, Poshmark, those can't match to those, because I can drop 100 people on my show, give them great deals. They're able to buy that stuff and list it themselves and make some money on it, and then we're able to get that space back. I tell this to a lot of people because I get a lot of those comments like, how do you make your partner like enjoy it or see what is going to come of this? And I just say, just keep your head down and keep focused, because eventually they'll come around, because they'll see the sales start coming in. If the money's coming in, there's nothing to negotiate. You have the money in your bank account. You went and spent $500, but there's $3,000 from sales earlier that month that you've already made. So there's no argument there. You're making money. But it takes time to get to that point.
Thrifted used items versus new with tag retail items, which do you prefer?
I'll let you
I like new at tag stuff. You just don't have to worry about broken things, missing things, stains. It's just pretty as soon as you buy it, and it's good to go. I like that stuff.
Yeah, I like both, and for two different reasons. Obviously, what you just said with new with tag, whereas thrifted, yes, you have the potential of damaged items, but the margins are so much better.
So I'm going to read you a question right from the comment section of one of your videos. So Charles asked, isn't reselling from thrift stores just taking clothing from people who actually need it?
The answer to that is no, because if Charles goes to a thrift store, he'll understand how much excess there is in these stores. Like literally the store we went today, if I had to guesstimate, it had 20 to 30,000 pieces just sitting out on the floor ready to be purchased.
Another question right from your comment section, Samantha asked, isn't you creating social media content hurting your own business because you're telling people all the secrets?
Yes and no. I'll say that yes, thrift stores do watch our content and they do price items up. A Ralph Lauren shirt that they used to price at $10 is now $15. Nobody's paying $10 for it. Nobody for sure is going to pay $15, but somebody on an online market is going to pay $20 to $25 for that certain Ralph Lauren shirt. So what we do is we just wait for that item to go 75% off. So you might have to wait a little bit longer to get those items. But again, going back to the last thing I was just saying, there's an abundance of these items.
If people want to learn more about your business and follow your journey, how can they do so?
Yeah, we are on KayWayShop on all platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. All those platforms are where we are. So feel free to follow us, and we post content pretty much every single day on all those platforms, just teaching people how to do what we do.
Kayla, Wayne, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, pups.
He's sweet.
You wanted to come in the last shot, didn't you?
Big thanks to Wayne and Kayla for inviting us into their home, for sharing so much knowledge about their business, and for just being real about life as a small business owner. I've learned so much from them over the years. If you want to follow their journey too, I linked their YouTube channel down below in the description of this video and all their socials. Give them a follow. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next time. Peace.